challenging the globalist, that you need to support us. But whatever you do, join us this October 14th from 11 a.m. right into October 15th, a 24-plus hour live transmission with special, never-before-seen video interviews that are coming up in 2 of our new films we're developing. Alan Watt.
The evidence is all there, but knowledge, remember, is scattered.
Lord Christopher Monckton.
Life in prison would be the best thing for Al Gore.
Dr. Clennard Childress.
Margaret Sanger was a devout racist, and that's what people need to know.
Dr. Paul Craig Roberts.
How bad can it get? It can get worse. It will get worse.
Catherine Austin Fitz.
If you pick up the telephone and call the customer service number if you have a problem with your food stamps, you know who you get? You get somebody in India who works for J.P. Morgan Chase.
Jeffrey M. Smith.
One of the interesting aspects of genetic engineering is anytime a scientist discovers a problem, they're attacked.
And a bunch of live interviews, your phone calls, and a lot more as we attempt to raise $500,000. The website is InfowarsMoneybomb.com. And, of course, we're going to have live streaming throughout the day at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, not just of audio, but of video of this historic transmission. And if you can't give, if you aren't doing well, as most Americans are, I don't want you to give $1. There's a lot of people out there who are going to have their wealth destroyed if they don't step up. The middle class is disappearing. It's time for people out there that claim they're libertarians, claim they're patriots, claim they're freedom lovers, to actually back someone who is for real, who tells it like it is, that talks about inside jobs, that talks about government-sponsored terror, that talks about eugenics, that expose the fact that our government's been injecting people worldwide with syphilis, not just black people in Alabama. We're hardcore. We're the most hardcore transmission there is out there. And that's why the government operatives and the haters and the control freaks at every level come after us, because they know we're real in their gut and they're scared of it. We've got the weapons. We've got the crews. We've got the maps. We've got the GPS. We're ready to go into New World Order Central and blast the hell out of them in the info war. All you need to do is pull up with your trucks on the tarmac and put the fuel in our engines. We are blasting off, going into enemy territory, launching the biggest offensive we have ever done. But the destiny of this operation is up to you. Again, if the banksters have raped you 7 ways to Sunday, I don't want you to donate. Spread the word about this special 24-plus hour broadcast that's coming up. That's the key. I want to commend my crew and everyone over the years out there that spread the word about the show, that has bought our books and videos, and has enabled us to give the films out on the web for free. You have had a massive effect. Together, we have reached over 200 million people in just the last 2 years alone on YouTube and Google alone. That's got the system scared. That's why they're trying to co-opt what we're doing and repackage it as a neocon fake right-wing movement. That's why it is our responsibility to move to the next level to effectively challenge the globalist and bring true grassroots, populist, constitutional leadership to the front. To paraphrase Samuel Adams, it does not take a majority to prevail. It only takes an irate, focused, angry minority to continually push forward and ignite bushfires in the minds of men and women everywhere. Every single one of you is a commando on the front lines of the info war. I don't want you behind me. I want you right beside me. I will see you October 14th, 11 a.m. Central, for the kickoff of the Infowars Moneybomb 2010. The grassroots has demanded it, and we're going to give it to you. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the sites, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the next hour and 40 minutes. We are joined commercial-free by one of the busiest guys in the country and the most accurate trends forecaster in the world. In fact, he basically developed that term and that science. He doesn't really need any introduction to this great audience. And I just hope, being worn out into hour number 20 of live transmission, that I can, not be too dingy and do a good job with Gerald Celente. We are, of course, trying to raise $500,000, which sounds like a lot. One studio at Fox cost over $10 million. We're trying to finish our studio for TV and fund everything going into this depression. Our audience has tripled, but the revenue's gone down, as I know it has for everybody. As we're in a greatest depression, as Gerald Celente said, his website's trendsresearch.com. He's an American trends forecaster, publisher of the Trends Journal, business consultant, and author who makes predictions about the global financial markets and other events of historical importance. Celente has described himself as a political atheist and a citizen of the world. He has appeared as a guest on television news shows such as The Oprah Winfrey Show, The Today Show, Good Morning America, CBS News, Glenn Beck's, NBC Nightly News. The list goes on and on. His forecast since 93, he was doing it before that unofficially, best-selling author, have included predictions about terrorism, economic collapse, and war. More recent forecasts involve fascism in the United States, food riots, and tax revolts. Celente has long predicted global anti-Americanism, a falling economy, immigration woes in the U.S. In December of 2007, Celente wrote, failing banks, busted brokerage, toppled corporate giants, bankrupt cities, states in default, foreign creditors crashing, I'm reading from the Journal, out of U.S. securities. Whatever the spark, the event is set for panic in the streets. And just as the Twin Towers collapse from the top down, so will the U.S. economy. When the giant firms fall, they will crush the man on the street. He has also predicted tax revolts. He predicted the Tea Party. And it just goes on and on, ladies and gentlemen. He appeared in 2008 on the Fox Business Network and predicted the economic depression, tax rebellions, food riots by 2012. That's now beginning worldwide. So he also predicted economic 9/11 and the panic of 2008. And he talked about Obamageddon. What's scary is he came out, it's got to be 9-10 months ago now, and said on this very broadcast, he said it first here, and it made attention, caught attention of media all over the world. He said, it's going down. I love to do imitations, but I'm not going to do it. But he said, it's going down by December. The dollar's going down, gold's going up. He said, the housing thing has only begun. And, I mean, it's literally prophecy. And here's gold up at close to 1,400. The mortgage scam, we've learned, is just completely mafioso by the white shoe boys, as he calls them. And it is so insane that even though I've known about this for a long time and talked about it as well, it's still something to know it intellectually, but to have a front row seat to your own roasting. And so we'll talk with Gerald about everything that he's been right about. I wish he was wrong. I wish I was wrong. I wish all our other experts, or Bob Chapman and Dr. Paul Craig Roberts and Webster Tarpley and Max Keiser were wrong. But we're not wrong. We're right. And so for the next hour and 40 minutes, he joined us. We're very appreciative of him getting up early to do this. Trendsresearch.com. Everyone should subscribe to it. It's just invaluable information. It's governments, major corporations, Fortune 100. They all subscribe. You should as well. The key inside trends info he gives you is just so important. And, again, I just give credit where credit's due. Gerald Celente, good to have you here with us.
Buongiorno, Alex. Thanks for doing all you are doing, and I wish you the best of good fortune. And I'll do what I can to help as well in raising money for a cause that's well needed in this world when we have a mainstream media. I don't know how these people could go to sleep at night being the people that they are and perpetuating this disgusting propaganda that they're putting out there, that are keeping the people in like feet in cement rather than moving forward to do something to change the direction that this country's going in, which is a crash course.
I worked for a large animal vet several summers, Gerald, and one time we were driving along and these buzzards were eating a dead deer early in the morning on the side of the road, halfway out on the highway. And we tried to drive around the deer, driving 60 miles an hour. But the buzzards were so greedy eating the meat that they didn't take off until too late, and one of them smashed the windshield, broke the windshield, just cracked it. But the issue is, that's how I see the globalists, this corporate Wall Street mafia. They are so busy eating the rotten meat of this country and other nations they've basically destroyed. We're dead and just don't know it yet. Financially, that they're just staying on the dead carrion and just driving it into the ground. I mean, how did you on this show 9 months ago, and a lot of, I remember I had another economist on right after you, and he said, I respect Gerald Celente, but man, that's putting it all on the line. That's all in. That's poker face there to say you're going to see the implosion accelerate and the clear depression being signified by the end of this year. And I mean, you talk about calling it. The mainstream media hasn't fully admitted it, but anybody who looks at the evidence knows it's here. How did you do that, Gerald? You got a crystal ball up there?
No. Current events form future trends. If you read the facts and you analyze them and you go beyond the political hype and the lies coming out of Wall Street, you really can see what's going to go on, but people don't want to face it. So they believe for how long that the stimulus was going to work. We said it as soon as it happened, that it wasn't a recovery, it was a cover-up. They've just been covering it up worldwide with this cheap money. And look what's going on, Alex. There's a currency war going on. And that's not my words. Those are the words of the Brazilian finance minister, Manteiga. And what's going on is that in order for these big corporations to export more of their junk overseas, they're devaluing the dollar, just as we said they were going to do. We said they were going to devalue their way out of this. And they're doing it in front of our eyes. And not only the U.S., now it's a whole war out there. Japan's trying to lower their value of their currency. China, as we know, continues to lower the value of their currency. One country after another, it's in a race. So what's the bottom line? Gold prices are going up. You don't have to be a genius to figure this one out. But people also don't want to believe that their country is going under. They invested so many people invested so much of their mental capital into believing in hope and change we can believe in, that they don't want to admit that they've been had. And the big had is that we're going into the worst economic times in modern history. And we're just finishing up the Autumn Trends Journal. And I have to tell you that we're looking in 2011 for a great plague to be recognized. It's going to be a time-release plague that's going to wipe out a lot of this population. Having said that... Hold on, holy mackerel, because you are a very serious person. You got a lot of great sources. You told us that gold would explode, that the meltdown would continue, that the mortgage crisis would be inflamed again, that the depression would be recognized by the end of this year. We're 3 months away from that, 2.5 months away. Clearly, you've been right there. I mean, you're 99% correct, and we'll know if you're 100% in the next 2.5 months, and I have no doubt you're right. You just talked about a mass plague being released, wiping out population. Let's not flesh that out and then continue, Gerald. All right, it's not a virus, and it's not going to be a vermin like the last Black Plague. This one's a time-release plague. It's the obesity plague. You're seeing it with Glenn Beck going blind from aspartame as they're projecting. That's what they're saying. I'm not claiming that's what it is, but it appears that way. You're looking at this country literally exploding. It's not hoof and mouth, it's hand to mouth. This country is going to... They're talking about health care reform? Forget health care reform. How about reforming what the people are doing to themselves? And as the more desperate they become, as the stress levels and anxiety build higher, the more the hand goes to the mouth. And not only with food, it's with these poison pharmaceuticals that they're gobbling up. We're going to hit a crisis level. You're going to start seeing it in the numbers. Again, they mask the statistics, Alex. You have to be politically correct. You can't call it famously fat. You have to call it obese. You cannot say, and that's the other thing, they're cooking the numbers just like they cook them with inflation, just like they cook them with unemployment.
No, we know diabetes is up 3,000%, cancer over 2,000%. We know that they are adulterating the food with so many poisons. The French have laws. They won't allow it. They smoke 2-3 packs of cigarettes, get drunk every night, eat incredibly fattening food, and they're all amazingly healthy and live